break in pieces and stamped the residue with the feet of it, and it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns. Now remember, the last kingdom had 10 toes. Okay, so you see the number 10 in this, and we see this again. This final beast had 10 horns. Okay, that's very important. Verse 8. I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots. And behold, in this horn were eyes like the eyes of man, and a mouth speaking great things. Okay? I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit, whose garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head like the pure wool. His throne was like the fiery flame, and his wheels as burning fire. A fiery stream issued and came forth from before him. Thousands ministered unto him, and 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. The judgment was set, and the books were opened. I beheld then, because of the voice of the great words which the horn spake, I beheld even till the beast was slain, and his body destroyed, and given to the burning flame. As concerning the rest of the beasts, they had their dominion taken away, yet their lives were prolonged for a season and time. I saw in the night visions, and behold, one like the Son of Man came with the clouds of heaven. Okay, so now you see the Son of Man, and Jesus said he would come back in the clouds. All right, but he came to the Ancient of Days, and they brought him near before him, and there was given him dominion. Okay, so the Son of Man is given dominion. That's where we say this kingdom belongs to Jesus Christ. Okay, he will reign on this earth. Okay, and glory. There was given him, verse 14, there was given him dominion and glory, and a kingdom that all people, nations, and languages should serve him. See, so all these people want to, all this other religion, all that stuff. No, every knee is going to bow and confess that Jesus Christ is Lord to the glory of God the Father, whether you like it or not. You see what I'm saying? All right. His dominion is an everlasting dominion which shall not pass away, and his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed. I, Daniel, was grieved in my spirit in the midst of my body, and the visions of my head troubled me. I came near unto one of them that stood by and asked him the truth of all this. So he told me and made me know the interpretation of the things. So now he's getting the interpretation of this from God. Okay. These great beasts which are four kings which shall arise out of the earth. But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever. So you see, it's 4 kingdoms that has to be on the earth. All right. Then I would know the truth of the 4th beast, which was diverse from all the others, exceeding dreadful, whose teeth were of iron, and his nails of brass, which devoured, brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with its feet. And of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the others which came up, and before whom 3 fell, even of that horn that had eyes and a mouth that spake very great things, whose look was more stout than his fellows. I beheld, and the same horn made war with the saints and prevailed against them. So you see, this final kingdom will make war against the saints. Who are the saints? The saints are the Christians. You see what I'm saying? This final kingdom is going to be against the Christians. That's right there in the word. Okay. Verse 22. Until the Ancient of Days came, and judgment was given to the saints of the Most High, and the time came that the saints possessed the kingdom. So eventually we will possess the kingdom, the saints. You see what I'm saying? All right. Thus he said, the 4th beast shall be the 4th kingdom upon earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth. This final government has to devour, or the final kingdom has to devour the whole earth. That's what God said would happen. And it shall tread it down and break it in pieces. Okay. And if we go back to verse 24, it says, and the 10 horns out of this kingdom are 10 kings. So it'll probably be 10 different regions that this one world government will establish. All right. 10 kings that shall arise, and another shall rise after them, and he shall be diverse from the first, and he shall subdue 3 kings. Okay, so he'll overcome 3 different regions or whatever. Okay, and he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until a time and times in the dividing of a time. Okay, so we see this ruler, who is the son of perdition. We'll talk about him in the next video. But you see, he will make war against the saints, period. So this thing is going to go against Christians. So if you're a Christian, you better learn to get tough and to start trusting in God, because this thing is coming. All right. Anyway, verse 26, but the judgment shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion, to consume and to destroy it unto the end. And the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey him. So guess what? In the end, y'all devils can do what you want to, but you lose and we win. All right. So now we see what Daniel has, what has been told to Daniel. 4 kingdoms had to rise up. We're in the scene that was Babylon, Greece, Babylon, Medo-Persia. It was Greece, and then it was the Roman Empire. And after that, it was going to be a diverse one, which would have the strength of the iron in it, or it would be like the Roman Empire. Okay, but this thing goes global. Okay, so we see in those 2 dreams, you know, what actually God was warning about, this final kingdom that has to be established on the earth. Well, now let's go to Revelations and pick it up in chapter 13, and you'll see how this is line upon line, precept upon precept. The visions that was given to John the Revelator was the exact same thing, basically, that was told to Daniel. Okay, so let's go to Revelations chapter 13. Revelations chapter 13. Now this is John. He says, "And I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns." Okay, so this beast got 10 horns. Once again, we see that number 10. 10 toes, 10 horns in Daniel. Now 10 horns in Revelations. Okay. And upon his horn 10 crowns, and upon his head the name of blasphemy. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. Now, if we turn this back over to chapter 12, Revelations chapter 12, when we're talking about the dragon, okay? Okay, if we go back to Revelations chapter 12 and pick it up at verse 9, we'll see who the dragon is, okay? Revelations 12 and 9, it says, "And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels was cast out with him." Okay, so we see, going back to Revelations 13, the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. Okay, so the dragon basically is given the power to this final kingdom. These people now in this world that are running things are straight into Satanism. And it's true. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? But we're going to get all into that. So, you know, this thing is deeper than what people can ever imagine. And we're closer than what people can ever imagine. But right now, we're just going to continue on through the word. Okay? Anyway, verse 3. "And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast." Okay, so this is where we get into the revised Roman Empire. Okay, anyway, it says, "And they worshiped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast, and they worshiped the beast, saying, Who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him? And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemy, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months, which is 3.5 years. A time, dividing a time, at times, and dividing of a time." Okay, same thing that Daniel said. All right, "And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle, and them that dwell in heaven." Okay, so you see, going against God, speaking against great things against God, just like how it was in Daniel. All right, verse 7, "And it was given unto him to make war with the saints." Again, same thing we saw in Daniel, line upon line, precept upon precept. "And to overcome them, and power was given to him over all kindreds and tongues and nations." Okay, see, all this playing around, y'all gonna have to make y'all's decision. You either gonna be on Satan's side or you're gonna be on God's side. But if you choose Satan's side, you lose. Period. End of story. Okay. Now, verse 8, "And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of the life of the Lamb, slain from the foundation of the world." If you ain't in Christ, you're going to be with Satan. Period. That's what it says. I don't care if you like it or not. That's what it says. All right. Verse 9, "If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints," the Christians. All right. "And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon, and he exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them that dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men." Okay, so now we're getting into this little horn. Remember in Daniel, this little horn came up speaking all this great stuff, and we see the same thing in Revelations. But we'll pick that back up in the next video, because now we're going to talk about the son of perdition. Okay, so once again, I thank you for your time. You know, this is just the beginning of everything. We're going to continue on with this. We'll pick this back up, you know, with the rise of the son of perdition in the next video. I thank you for your time. God bless you. Have a blessed and wonderful day. Thank you.